Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our online Dharma family. It's so nice to see you all this morning. Welcome to our Sunday morning Dharma service. So before we begin, let us arrive together here in this room and let's take a deep breath in and raise our arms up, taking in a deep breath. And release, and as you release, wrap your arms around yourself and give yourself a nice, big, warm hug, loving embrace. Just taking a moment and set your intention to be open today, present and grateful for your practice and each moment throughout the day. So we will practice various forms of meditation. And when you are ready, we will welcome B, who will guide us in Qigong stretching to begin our practice this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Please rise. Let's begin our Buji stance, which is feet shoulder width apart. Begin just taking an inventory of all the sensations from the very top of our head, coming down. Let's Close our eyes for a moment. Releasing the tension in the forehead and the face. Dropping the jaw. Relaxing the shoulders, just letting your arms dangle. Finding a rhythm in your breath. Loosening the belly, hips, putting a slight bend to the knees, softening the ankles. Really feel rooted into the floor. It's a windy day, let's just kind of trees. Let's just start swaying a little bit, one side to the other. Start moving the knees a little bit and shifting the weight. Finding a rhythm in your breath. Come back to center. Palms facing up, let's bring our hands up to about face height. As we bring them to face height, let's intertwine the hands, pushing up. Let's reach up, let's look up while you're doing so. Hold, 2, 3, holding the universe up and releasing, exhaling, coming down. We'll do this a few times. Breathing in, coming up. Let's hold up the universe and release. Again. Do a couple more. And one more. Really hold up that universe and release. Now let's form a ball at the heart center. Right, from here, we're going to reach up with one hand, fingers facing back behind us. In the lower hand, fingers are facing forward. And again, onto the other side. Passing those hands by your heart center. Breathing in and exhaling as your hands pass by each other. Feel the exchange of energy with your hands as you're passing them by. Collecting it from your heart center. Again, holding up the sky with one hand. Do a couple more. Really feeling that stretch in the spine and in the chest. And last one. And bring your hands down to the sides. Let's open up our stance a little bit. It may be helpful to put your ankles at a 45. Come down as far as you can into a saddle stance or a horse stance. If it's too uncomfortable, please feel free to stand straight up, and you can do this seated as well. We're going to reach up with our hands, making fists, bringing our arms together, and now we're going to look to one side, shooting out an arrow. Really opening up the chest again, scooping up some energy here. Bringing our fists together. And releasing, and we're breathing out as we release. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more on each side. All right, let's be careful, but bring our stance back in. We played this with this one a few times. I I always forget the name of it. Something to do with a cow chasing a rainbow, and it's a lot of fun. It's a good stretch, but be sure to really feel well planted before bending over. It's a side bend. We're going to be kicking out to one side as well. And so I'm going to reach up with my hands over to one side, breathing out, really extending as far as is comfortable, and coming up onto the other side. Let's kick out onto our heel. Breathing in and exhaling. As soon as you finish your exhale, come on up. One more on each side. Coming up. And very similar to what we just did, only without the side bend, we're going to play the lute. I'm going to sweep open my arms, kicking my heel out, standing on the heel, and a nice cyclical motion here on each side. We're not stopping. Really feel planted before kicking out. Do one more on each side. Last one. Wonderful. We're going to close out with falling waters. We can open up our stance just a little bit again. Really reach up, grab energy from the universe, grab that water energy. Bring it down, palms facing the ground as we're exhaling. Let's push that energy down into the earth, bending with our hips and our knees. Looking down, now sweeping up, pulling that energy up to our heart center, palms facing the body, and letting it flow off the fingers. Again, big breath in, exhaling as we're pressing that water energy down through our body into the earth. Pulling some of it back up and letting it roll off the fingers. A couple more of these. Two more. And last one. Really reach open. Grab that water energy. Wash it down through our body. Giving it to the earth and pulling some back out. And releasing it off the fingers. Great. Thank you.
Please bring your palms together in front of your chest. We stand before Ilwan Song, or one circle image. It represents our Dharmakaya Buddha, the truth of our interconnectedness, our true nature, and our path to awakening. And we bow to the four graces. I bow in gratitude to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the infinite beneficence of nature and the universe. I bow in gratitude to the grace of parents, honoring the beneficence from parents, ancestors, and all those who have had a nurturing role in my life. I bow in gratitude to the grace of fellow beings, recognizing the truth of interconnectedness. I bow in gratitude to the grace of laws, those that guide us, protect us, and promote justice. Now take a moment to turn to your neighbor Buddhas with your beautiful smiles and open hearts and bow and say good morning. You may find your seat when you're ready. Take a moment to make yourselves comfortable and prepare your body for sitting meditation. And Patty will guide us further by reading the method of sitting meditation.
The method of sitting meditation is simple and easy. Sit comfortably on the floor or in a chair. Breathe in, grab all your tension, and breathe it out. Open your chest and heart. Stretch up tall and align your spine from your neck to your tailbone. Relax your shoulders and arms, and allow your hands to rest on your knees. Bring your attention to your breath. As you exhale, release all mental and physical tension. Invite your attention to abide in your chi energy field, which is called Danjan. This is located about 2 inches below your navel and is the power center for your breathing. Open your eyes and gaze downward over the end of your nose into the floor. Keep your mouth closed and allow the tip of your tongue to rest gently against the roof of your mouth. When your mind is concentrated and calm, pure and clear saliva may gather in the mouth. You may swallow it. Relax your facial muscles and notice your gentle smile. If your face or body begins to itch, do not scratch. This is just a sign of the energy circulating in your body. Simply note the itching and let it pass. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change position very slowly and quietly so that you maintain a calm stillness and do not interrupt others. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not be discouraged or disturbed by them. Simply focus on your breathing without reacting to or playing with those thoughts. Recognize them as thoughts. They will disappear by themselves. And remember, keep bringing your awareness back to your Danjan breathing center. You continue practicing meditation for a long period of time, you will rest in the realm of samadhi. deep meditation in which the mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused, and at peace, with no distinction between self and others, time and place. We are grateful to sit quietly together, finding the still point within. May we be here now, aware of our ever calm and alert spirit.
Let us continue our practice with prayer. Please open your booklets to page 3. And let us bring our palms together to read the prayer for world peace. Grace of heaven and earth, grace of parents, grace of fellow beings, grace of laws, O Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, we take refuge in Dharma and be filled with compassion and wisdom. May we transform delusion into wisdom, greed into generosity, resentment into gratitude, discord into harmony, and hatred into compassion. May all nations grow and benefit mutually. May the strong help the weak, and may the weak learn and evolve according to Dharma. May all those who have died from world conflicts and disasters be delivered through all obstacles and be at rest. May there be peace throughout the world, and may all beings enjoy tranquility and happiness, living in their original true nature. This we pray with our whole hearts. Now we will chant Youngju, a spiritual mantra, on the top of that same page, page 3.
Youngju Chanji Yonggi Ashimjong Bansayo Ashimtong Chanji Yowa Dong Ilche Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjong Chanji Yonggi Ashimjong Bansayo Ashimtong Chanji Yowa Dong Ilche Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjong Chanji Yonggi Ashimjong 만사요 이하심도 전지여와 동일체하여 전지동심정 전지연기하심정 만사요 이하심도 전지여와 동일체하여 전지동심정 전지연기하심정 만사요 이하심도 전지여와 동일체하여 전지동심정 전지연기하심정 만사여 이하심도 전지여와 동일체하여 전지동심정 전지연기하심정 만사여 이하심도 전지여와 동일체하여 전지동심정.
Please turn to pages 4 and 5 to chant the Ilwon Song, Vow, and the Heart Sutra.
Ilwon Song Vow. Ilwon is the realm of samadhi beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and non-being, the origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, and laws, the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, enlightened people, and sentient beings. Ilwon manifests as both permanence and impermanence, viewed as permanence. Ilwon unfolds into infinite worth that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it is viewed as impermanence. Ilwon unfolds into infinite worth through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, and the progressing with grace, arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Evan Sangha Dharma Kaya Buddha by cultivating our minds and bodies deeply, knowing human affairs and universal principles thoroughly, and using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until we attain the great empowerment of Ilwan and become one with the nature of Ilwan.
Heart Sutra. The
Bodhisattva of great compassion, when deeply practicing Prajnaparamita, realized that all five aggregates are empty, and thus became free from all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The same is true of sensations, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease in emptiness. No form, no sensations, no perceptions, no impulses, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind consciousness, no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, no extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, no attainment with nothing to attain. Bodhisattva relies on Prajnaparamita, therefore the mind has no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist, free from delusion. One dwells in nirvana. Whole Buddhas of the past, present, and future rely on Prajnaparamita and attain supreme enlightenment. Therefore know that Prajnaparamita is the great mantra, is the great enlightening mantra, is the unsurpassed and unequaled mantra, which is able to eliminate all suffering. This is true, not false. To proclaim the Prajnaparamita mantra, which says, gone, gone, gone beyond, far beyond, now awaken. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha, gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha, gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha.
Let's take a moment to stretch our bodies. Let's bring the shoulders up and roll them back, release. Once more, bring them in, up and around and release. Pay attention to the neck and roll the neck in one direction. And the opposite way. And then bring up the arms, raise the arms up high, breathing in, reaching to the sky, and breathing out. Twist your body to one side, looking over your shoulder, and the other way. And then you may release your legs. Take a moment to rub your knees and make yourself comfortable. Today, we will also enjoy listening meditation, listening practice as we hear a Dharma talk given by our teacher, Reverend Yu. And the title of his talk are The Benefits of Seated Meditation. Please bring your palms together to welcome Reverend Yu.
Okay, good morning, everyone. During medieval times, one artist set out to paint Jesus. So in his village, he searched who could be the ideal model. So he finally discovered one young person who looked very honest, compassionate, and healthy. So it took a couple of years to finish the painting. And after several years, he would like to paint the portrait of Judas, the betrayer of Jesus. In the same way, he searched for some perfect model, but he could not find out some ideal model for Judas. So he eventually ventured in some local prison and find out some perfect one person whose face was marred with anger, resentment, and deceit. When he started to paint Judas, he looked very familiar. And then he discovered that that person was the model of Jesus that he used several years ago. The young man, after taking a lot of money, he has taken a very dark path, which eventually led to imprisonment. So in our daily life, we sometimes live just like Jesus, sometimes just like Judas. And depending on how we use our mind, for example, our choice that we make, our destiny, our life would become very different. But there's one problem. We know that. The problem is we cannot use our mind freely. For example, in a certain situation, you would like, for example, I wish not to be angry, not to be disappointed. I'd like to forgive that person. I would like to let go of jealousy or unwholesome desire. But many times we cannot control our mind. Our mind functions automatically in some direction without our intentioning it. What are we supposed to do? But there's a good news. We can train our mind efficiently in order to use our mind very well. If we use our mind very well, our life would become completely different. We can train our dog just like we train our body in a gym. When we train our body, cultivate it, our body would become very different. We become very healthy. It's the same with our mind. But unlike training our body, when we train our mind, the benefit would be really enormous. It's really boundless. For example, when you train your dog, what would be the first command? Yeah. When the dog is seated, it calms down and pay attention to your word, to your next command. Exactly like that, when our body is seated, just like we did 30 minutes ago. From 30 minutes ago, our mind starts to settle down. When our mind begin to settle down, very naturally our mind becomes very wide so that we can make a very good choice. According to the statistic, do you know, after the introduction of this, ADHD children increased exponentially. There were two events after this advent of these two introduction. ADHD children started to increase exponentially. What would be that? Yeah, but what I would like to say is ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, people start to rise exponentially after people started to use widely color television, especially in England. And after people started to use widely cell phones, ADHD patients start to rise exponentially. So is that just a simple correlation or causation? It's still being debated. But the sure thing is this kind of a sensory overload really polluted the mind of the children as well as all people. Would you read that chapter of the Diamond Sutra? Yeah.
Diamond Sutra, Chapter 14. Therefore, Subhuti, bodhisattvas should leave behind all phenomenal distinctions and awaken the thought of the consummation of incomparable enlightenment by not allowing the mind to depend upon notions evoked by the sensible world, by not allowing the mind to depend upon notions evoked by sounds, odors, flavors, touch contacts, or any qualities, The mind should be kept independent of any thoughts which arise within it. If the mind depends upon anything, it has no sure haven.
So even though when we practice sitting meditation, we are with a lot of wandering thoughts, at least our mind become independent from seeing, hearing, touching, and so on, from our sensory experience. That's really important to recharge our mind, to hone our innate wisdom. So specifically, what could be the benefit of sitting meditation? But 2 weeks ago, I said several things. The first thing, according to our One Buddhism scripture, rash and flightly behavior will gradually disappear. When we see the image of a Zen master, they appear very free and unrestrained, but they possess a certain depth and gravity. When I was a little, my uncle gave me some rally-pally as the Christmas gift. It's so strange. When it's knocked down, it immediately writes itself up. It's a very strange thing to me. It was a very simple thing. I later discovered inside the belly of the rally-pally, they put some heavy metal. That's why. When we meditate, a lot of energy will become accumulated in our energy center, in our dungeon, lower abdomen. So there are a lot of medical study shows meditation rewire our brain to fight more efficiently against stress. President Park in the 70s in Korea was a key figure for modernization and economic progress. On August 15, 1971, on some Liberation Day celebration, when he delivered a speech, Moon Se-kwang, the 22-year-old North Korean spy, fired a gun. And the bullet missed the president, but hit the first lady, who immediately died on the spot. So lots of politicians were very afraid and left the auditorium, and it's a chaos. But after that, young spy was captured at the back. I'm not sure you can see that. The President Park, just lowered his body, and then he got up and he finished his speech. I was in the 4th grade, but it was very much impressive. Very much. It's the kind of the characteristic of the hero. Would you read that medical study? Yeah. The first one.
Even after 5 days of integrative body-mind training, participants showed reduced cortisol, the stress hormone, and greater control over impulsive reactions. Short-term meditation training improves attention and self-regulation, written by Tang YY et al.
Yeah, the next thing.
Long-term meditators displayed lower emotional reactivity and a calmer baseline, a biological correlate of inner-centeredness. Decreased activity in the amygdala, the fear and reactivity center, or fight or flight alarm center. Less reactivity here means we are less emotionally hijacked by stress, worry, and fear. brain changes. Studies using MRI scans have shown that long-term meditation can lead to changes in the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for executive functions like focus, decision-making, and willpower. It can also reduce the size and activity of the amygdala, or the brain's fear center, making individuals less reactive to stress and negative emotions. This biological rewiring provides a solid foundation for enhanced emotional regulation and persistence. The
Yeah.
power of endurance growth.
Yeah, thank you. The second benefit, it means the concrete benefit is the sixth sense organs will become orderly, very natural. Do you know how professional pickpockets identify their target? If somebody, let's just say in the subway, look anxious, constantly checking their pocket or purse and so on, that raised the red flag, that pickpocket. When we have something in our mind, it can be some worry or resentment or whatever things, just like that person who have a lot of cash or jewel, our life, our behavior will not become very natural and orderly. There was one Buddhist master, like 500 years ago in Joseon Dynasty, Jinmu. One day, his friend, a very well-known Confucian scholar, would like to make him break some basic precepts. And she hired a very beautiful young woman, one dancer, and they paid a lot. Why don't you seduce that monastery? And as a professional dancer, she played some music and danced with that. She asked, why don't we dance? And that master said, why not? And they started to dance. And it was late in the fall. All of a sudden, the master saw one ripe persimmon fell on the ground. So he unawares went to the fallen persimmon and picked up that. And the lady was very embarrassed and left. So, if we meditate, we may not become very good or sacred person. We become very free and liberated person. Our original mind, symbolized by this circle, it is transcend good and bad, wholesome and unwholesome. So meditation, they said, restore order and harmony. Eyes see but do not cling. Ears hear but do not act. Tongues taste but does not demand more. We become very free person. One of the benefits of sitting meditation. And one another thing is the power of endurance grows by practicing meditation. What is one of the characteristics of the successful person in whatever area? They are very persevering, enduring. It's their characteristic. Have you seen this photo? John F. Kennedy said this is the most striking image that he have ever seen. In the early 60s, the Vietnamese government started to oppress Buddhism. And eventually, the government forces start to fire and kill lots of Buddhist protesters. So this monk, Pi Guangde, at the time he was in his early 60s, he decided his mind to sacrifice himself. He very calmly went to the busy street in Saigon, and the gasoline was poured, and he was set on fire. And he didn't cry out or flinch at all. It's not clenching his teeth and endure that. He was beyond his body. He was so calm. Just. One day, one minister asked to our third head Dharma master, how Jesus could endure such a physical pain and agony on the cross when he was crucified. Then Master Desan said, does an enlightened sage experience suffering? They have a place to dwell, a refuge beyond all suffering. So these are some extreme cases. But when you regularly meditate, sitting meditation, you will become very enduring and persevering person, even though you do not have to practice mindfulness in that area. The second part, would you read that? Yeah. About the endurance, a lot of medical doctors and neuroscientists studied that.
Kobe Bryant and Novak Djokovic have spoken about using mindfulness meditation to stay focused under immense pressure, allowing them to endure grueling training and competition. How meditation works to stay focused under immense pressure. A 2020 study on university athletes found that a 5-week mindfulness program enhanced their endurance performance and executive functions. A 2020 study on university athletes found that participants in the meditation group were able to exercise for a longer duration before exhaustion compared to the control group. Meditation has also been shown to help people manage stress, a major factor that can derail perseverance. By reducing stress hormones like cortisol, meditation allows individuals to cope more effectively with adversity, thereby building resilience and staying power.
Okay, thank you. So our Master Desan said there are two kinds of thieves. One is a small thief. They steal our material possession. That's a small thief. Greater thief is the one who steals our original mind. So in Taoism, our sixth sensory organs is called Ojak, five thieves. So in order to guard our mind, let our mind free from seeing, hearing, touching, and so on is very much important, apart from our practicing sitting meditation. So if a sitting meditation is a little harder, prostration, chanting meditation, or just hiking in the mountain, whatever forms, meditation is possible to recharge our mind, strengthen our body and mind. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Yu, for your wise words. Reverend Yu always has the most wonderful examples. Roly-poly. What do we call that in America? Roly-poly toy? Weeble wobbles. Everybody knows a weeble wobble. Weeble wobbles wobble, but they don't fall down. Yes. So may we all be weeble wobbles. Let's please open your chant books to page 6 to read the essential dharmas of daily practice, led by Pete.
Essential dharmas of daily practice. 1. The mind is originally free from disturbance, but disturbances arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the equanimity of our true nature by letting go of disturbances. 2. The mind is originally free from delusion, but delusions arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the wisdom of our true nature by letting go of delusions. 3. The mind is originally free from wrongdoing, but wrongdoings arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the precepts of our true nature by letting go of wrongdoings. 4. Let us replace disbelief, greed, laziness, and ignorance with belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication. 5. Let us turn resentment into gratitude. 6. Let us turn dependency into self-reliance. 7. Let us turn reluctance to learn into willingness to learn well. 8. Let us turn reluctance to teach into willingness to teach well. 9. Let us turn lack of public spirit into eagerness to serve the good of all.
So I have a few announcements to make. The first one is there's a new offering. So starting for the whole month of December, this is daily, we have a journaling practice. So to start the habit of journaling, it's a nighttime practice, and you can register online. If you have any questions, Reverend Ginger is leading this practice. And yeah, you can see it online. We also have a spiritual Thanksgiving service coming up. So this coming Sunday on the 23rd, we have, if you would like to stay, we have a cleanup, our temple cleanup, that's happening in preparation for this day. And then spiritual Thanksgiving service is a day when we get together, we bring the photos of our loved ones, and we remember our gratitude to our teachers, our mentors, our family, our pets. So this is happening on the 30th. And there's also potluck afterwards and community lunch. And there's sign-ups if you want to bring or you're going to come in the foyer. So if you will attend, we need to know for lunch. Please sign up. And the last announcement I have is food drive. So for people that are in need and struggling right now, there's many. So we're going to be collecting food here from this month all the way through January. So to end our practice today, we are going to dedicate the merits. So dedicate all of the energy and the merit, the grace of our practice together to those who are suffering. So we especially want to dedicate the merit to Karen, one of our family, our practitioner, Karen. Her cat, Fredo, just passed away on Friday. So to her and to Fredo. And also there's a lot of people that are now really struggling with food. Since the government shutdown, there has been a stop to SNAP benefits, and many, many people do not have food right in our backyard. So let us take a moment to sit in silence. Thank you for your practice today. Please enjoy your week and tea on your way out. Thank you. One more announcement for those of you Dharma name holders. Or actually, I'm sorry, not Dharma name holders.